She spent 4.5 years as a nurse. She watched people take their last breath, and she watched patients list their biggest regrets from a hospital bed. And one day, something happened in a hospital room that she'll never be able to forget.
I was just like watching the drip from this IV bag into the chamber, just slowly dripping, and it had me thinking, I just felt like this part of me slowly dying.
And a few weeks later, she quit. She packed a bag and flew to Berlin alone. No plan, no safety net, just a gut feeling that she could not ignore anymore. Her first month, nothing happened. She was just pitching every day and hearing nothing back. And then she changed one thing about her approach and everything exploded. In her first month going all in, she landed $4,300 in brand deals. Then one company found her, not from a pitch, not from an app, from somewhere no one would ever expect. And they offered her a $1,500 monthly retainer on the spot.
It really came down to being all or nothing, like burning bridges and no back doors.
In this episode, she reveals the moment in a hospital room that made her walk away from everything, the one change that turned a silent inbox into a flood of brand deals overnight, and how she built a full-time content creation business from a laptop in Berlin in less than 30 days of going all in. I'm Gloria Stonelake, this is Cassandra, and you're watching UGC World.
Hi everyone. Hi Gloria. Thank you for having me on. This is super exciting, and you literally hit the nail on the head. So my background's in nursing. I've been a nurse for 4.5 years, and deep down I always knew like nursing wasn't for me. And I'm doing like a great service for humanity. I'm helping people, but even then it just didn't feel like I was meant to be doing this. Like I felt like I was meant for more. And I started to get into sales because I was really curious about it. I have friends that do sales right now, and they were like, oh, try out door-to-door sales, selling solar. And I was like, okay, like I'll try it out. And I was like just naturally good at it, because really sales is like learning how to communicate with people and knowing how to offer a solution to someone's problem. And so the better you are at asking the right questions and really understanding someone's problem, the more you're able to really like offer that solution, and you have a sale. That's really what it is. And like I saw how that approach and mindset translated into UGC as well when it came to pitching brands, and really like making my pitches very like brand centered and not about me being like a fangirl. Like I think about how before it used to be like, oh my gosh, like I love your product, like let's collab. And it's like, no, like they don't want that. They already get enough emails like that. They want someone who understands them, who understands their audience and their marketing strategies. And they want to hire you because you know what you're talking about, and you know that you're going to help them essentially like drive conversions, drive revenue. And that's really what they want when it comes to content creation, not just aesthetic looking videos. So yeah, it's been a really, really interesting journey. And it happened like in such a short amount of time. Like I literally quit my nursing job in January, end of January. And
Wow.
February, I like locked in and ended up landing $4,300 in brand deals. And that was like my second of UGC. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it really came down to being all or nothing, like burning bridges and no back doors. And I'm really blessed that I don't have kids. I'm single. I really have no responsibilities. So for me, like there was really no excuse to just go all in and see like what I could create in like a month of just having no experience and, just like doing it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful mentality where you're just like, no, I got nothing holding me back. Why not pull the trigger right now? Just because I can. And so many people feel like that on this planet, and the fact that you did that is so inspiring. And I'd love to even dig into that journey more closely. Like you said you started in January, or you quit your nursing job in January. Are you talking about this past January, like 2 months ago?
Yeah. Wow. So I was
Wow.
literally doing my nursing job as well as UGC like at the same time. And I really wasn't seeing the results I wanted. And for me, what I noticed, it came down to my pitch. So I started off doing the 5-day sprint with you, and I was using your pitch, and I was sending literally hundreds of emails a day and was barely getting responses with brands. And I noticed it was because of how generic the template was, like the email I was sending. And so from there, I pivoted my template, and I used ChatGPT to make like a better template that was very brand oriented. And I remember watching one of your modules that really supported with that. And from there, I started to get way more responses from brands and also
Yeah.
diversifying my platforms as well. Because before, I was only focused on cold pitching on emails on Bento. And then from there, I actually started to do Reddit, Upwork, Backstage, and that really helped as well.
Beautiful. So you put systems up, and we'll definitely touch more specifically in a minute on like the whole UGC journey and how you landed like over $4,000 in brand deals. Insane in a small time span. But same time, you mentioned something very important. I'm just thinking of that viewer watching this that's like, wow, okay, you didn't like the nursing job. I kind of feel the same way. So for you, Cassandra, what was like, you said you had a bad feeling about it. Like, where did that feeling come from and what was it doing to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, like I knew even in nursing school, like it wasn't for me. Like as crazy as that
Really?
was, like I literally knew even when I was in high school making like the biggest decision of my life of like, what do I want to major in? What do I want to be when I grow up? I always was fascinated with psychology and how the human mind worked, and even like art and creating. Like I literally started my first YouTube channel when I was in middle school. And so I loved creating videos, editing videos, doing stop motion videos. I was just always a creative person. And I never believed in myself, and I never believed like I could make money from being creative, from doing that kind of stuff. And so I was like, I'm just going to pick the safer option that's more stable, that society will approve of, that my family will approve of. And so I went with the nursing route because I knew a lot of family members that were in the medical field and they were all proud of me. And I did well in school. Like I got really great grades, graduated top of my class, but still deep down, I just knew like this isn't right. I was meant for something more. And even when I started working as a nurse, I got burnt out super fast. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't do this. Like this is too much. And then I started to change my specialties so many times, hoping to find something that worked for me. But deep down, it was just masking what I was truly avoiding. And that was doing something completely different. And that was like being creative, being my own boss, as scary as that is. I just knew I wasn't meant for a 9 to 5. Like it just couldn't happen. I think what it really led to was like the pain was so great. Like I remember there was this one moment where I was with a patient and I was starting her IV infusion, and I was just like watching the drip, from this IV bag into the chamber, just slowly dripping. And it had me thinking about time, and I was getting really philosophical. Like I just felt like this part of me slowly dying, and like it's kind of like tearing up as I was like looking at this like dripping chamber, because it reminded me of how short time is. And I've been around death. I've worked with cancer patients, people that have died, and that also continues to remind me every single day of like, wow, like life is so freaking short. And so many patients have told me how much they wish they did that, they wish they did this, how many regrets they have in their life. And it finally just all added up, and I was like, wow, like what am I doing with my life? Like this can't be it. Like there has to be more to this, And so I was like, okay, like we're gonna commit, we're gonna go all in, as scary as that is, and do it and see what happens. And I also am spiritual. I believe in God, and I feel like when you are living authentically, heart-led, there is no way that you can truly fail, because I really believe that God provides to those who trust in him and who commit and do things out of love, and integrity too.
Wow, that's a very powerful story. So in recap, you were like one day you're at the nursing job and you saw the blood drip. You're like that small moment led to that point in your life where you're just like, screw it, I have to do something that's more aligned with me.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very powerful. And a lot of people don't have that strength to do what is against the current, to do what like their family wouldn't approve of. So what advice would you give like someone out there listening to this that's like very scared? They're in college, maybe nursing, and they're just scared of like going all in with their creative side to create content and be a UGC creator, or even just like start making money online. What would you tell them?
Mm. I would tell them to start believing in something greater than them. Like maybe some people don't believe in God, but they believe in the universe or something like that. And honestly, like when you put your faith into something bigger than you, like you really will start to receive messages and signs that you can't ignore. Like, it sounds crazy, but like I would get crazy signs that just couldn't be explained logically that had me deep down know like I was on the right path. And so that really helped me to take that leap of faith. And so when you don't see the evidence, it's like you have to create the evidence for yourself. And it's also partly being delusional, where it's like, okay, I'm going to all in on this and believe in it. And in response, God, the universe, will create the evidence, if that makes sense.
Mm, very interesting. I like that perspective. It's very spiritual at the same time. I think is very true. Once you start praying and once you start changing your perspective, you'll start to notice like little signs and little like footprints, like the
Yeah.
time, even the 11:11s and like all of the little things, right, that will
Mhm.
lead you on the right path. And I totally believe that when you pray or when you believe in a greater power, I definitely think it'll lead you to the right way. But also it's that gut feeling, like you said. Like, do you feel horrible when you're at your job? Okay, chances are it's not meant for you. It's not your greater mission, in life.
Mhm.
It's not your greater calling in life at all. So it's like kind of a given. Like a lot of people are going through that tug of war with themselves. No, I should be a nurse. That's what my family told me. I should continue with college. I should do this. But also that calling, that fire within them, and that mission within them is telling them the opposite. No, go be creative. Go build a life for yourself. Leave the job. It's not meant for you. I don't know about you, Cassandra, but I think it's like that's God telling us what our mission is. But people have so much noise in their brain where the noise from other people where that mission is just clouded out. But God gave everybody an individual mission, but people are going on random missions that other people wanted them to go on because it's what society gives them, right? But everybody is blessed with a mission, an individual mission. And if it feels like you're at that, like yourself, like you said, you felt like this wasn't right, being at this nursing job, and you found a different mission that felt better and that felt more aligned with your spirit.
Yeah, definitely. Like you're so spot on with it. And I feel like because we also have the power of social media, like I'm seeing so many more people that are on such a similar journey of like, yeah, I quit my 9 to 5 to travel and do something completely different. And it's just so beautiful how we can see people's journeys through social media. And I feel like there's like this mass awakening in the collective of like, wow, like I'm actually meant for more than a 9 to 5. Like we're meant to be actually enjoying what we do and not be miserable and work a job for 40 plus years like our parents did and look forward to retirement and then we travel. Like it doesn't have to be that way. And I feel like it's really beautiful to see just the impact that we each as an individual have because of social media, because you never know who's watching your stories, your posts, and the impact that it'll have on them.
100%. And I feel like you're so aligned with that. And going back in time, even Cassandra, if you're going back in time where if you were to go back in time where you were to right before you chose to go to college, right? And you said you knew deep down you don't want to go. You knew that, but you already went. But with what you know now, what would you do if you were to go back in time?
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to someone recently about this because I'm traveling now, and honestly, it would be to take a gap year and travel, like literally like experience the world by myself and really discover like who I really am and not who I was told to be, not what I was conditioned to be by my family and my upbringing and the society that I lived in, but to truly see the world and like who am I really like in this world by myself. Because when you solo travel, like you learn so much about yourself and like who you really are. Like you can't lie to yourself when you're by yourself. Like only the truth will be revealed.
Mm, powerful. Solo traveling will teach you things that school could never teach you.
Yes, 100%.
I feel like you're really on that frequency of self-exploration and kind of leaving that, like, leaving the system that raised you so you can find yourself and find your own calling. And I love that. And I'd like to ask you, like, how has UGC played like a huge part in this transformation so far?
Yeah, it's been so eye-opening because really, like, I was having a conversation with a friend recently about being your own boss and having your own business is a direct reflection of the inner work that you've done on yourself, because the systems that you create and how you navigate conflict, hardship, communicating with your clients and everything is really a direct reflection of how much inner work you've done. And so having a business is the biggest spiritual experience that there is. And I feel like for me, I started my spiritual journey very early on. And so it really has supported me when it came to like being disciplined and being like all in with this business, because before I think I would have treated it as a hobby. And now it's like, wait, this is actually like me extended. And so it's really, really cool because it's like I get paid for being me. And that's like the best job that there is. Like I get to choose who I work with, what companies I want to work with, and make videos based on me and my personality. Like it's just so amazing. And yeah, UGC has been like so awesome, like so amazing. Like I feel like I saw the results very, very quickly that I probably wouldn't have seen with something else, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. And I can tell just by your smile, you're just like spiritually aligned with UGC. And some people that might be watching this might be like, what about this or this instead of UGC? There's so many options online. What concerns did you have about the UGC industry before you started, and how did you get over them?
Yeah, I feel like for me, at first I was like, oh, this couldn't be for me. Like there was this limiting belief in my mind of like, oh, it's only for certain people, like special people. Like I need to have like XYZ, I need to have all these followers and all these different requirements my brain was making up like out of nowhere. And it was like, oh, there actually is no barrier to entry except the barriers I make up in my mind. That's literally like what it was the stories. And being part of the UGC Academy and seeing the community, interacting with everyone and seeing all the people that were winning of different ages and backgrounds was like so inspiring, because it's like, oh wait, if they can do it, like I can totally do it too. Like what the heck? And for me, like creativity and editing comes already so naturally. And so I'm like, wait, yes, like I can do this. Like this is totally like for me. And yeah, I feel like being able to see the results also supported with that too. Yeah.
100%. It comes down to your energy and how you feel about it. And it looks like for you, you just found like such a natural creative passion towards working with like your favorite companies that literally describe you and shape who you are and help you become a better person, which is freaking amazing. And a lot of creators, when they first start off, they have this like huge like objection in their brain around just working with any brand. And I feel that like we shouldn't be working with brands that we don't align with. But there's a lot of creators that have that mindset where they're like, I don't want to work with companies that I don't, align with. Like, for example, supplement brands. There's a lot of supplement brands that I don't align with, right? And that might stop them, and that stops some of them from actually moving things forward and finding an alignment with this. So what would you tell that person that's trying to find that alignment, but it just doesn't seem like from the outside they can?
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, like in the beginning part of this, I was open to working with more brands because when you're new, I feel like you want to get that experience. And then as you start to get the experience, then you're able to build your portfolio and like pitch to brands that are like really, really in alignment. And so for me, like I wasn't being picky in the beginning about which brands I wanted to work with. But I also do believe in your energy. And so if you're creating that energy of like, okay, I'm really specific and I want to work with this kind of brand, and you're so determined, I honestly believe it can totally happen. And so if you don't want to work with this certain brand, but want to work with a different brand, then you can totally like make it happen. And I feel like it's a matter of like your mindset around it and the energy that you're putting towards it.
So around abundance, maybe
Mm-hmm.
of like, excuse me, of like abundance around like, hey, you use brands like every day. Like, what about the brands that are helping you become a better person through your day? And that's such a, I don't know. I think that being aligned with the brand is 100%, but I think you could find any brand that you could be aligned with if you're just selective and you kind of target the right people, which is my opinion. But with that being said, like kind of backtracking, we're talking about UGC, but I want to learn more about like when I know you had this background of creating content, which is wonderful. But I want to know exactly when you pulled the trigger and decided to become a UGC creator. Was it 2 months ago, right around when you quit your nursing job, or was it months beforehand? Like, when did this journey actually start?
Yeah, I would say it was when we did our call, or no, it was with Alexander when we did our call. That was like near the end of December when I had found your page, because this was literally the time where I was like, yeah, I'm going to put in my few weeks. I'm going to quit my nursing job. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just know like I don't want to do this anymore. Like I was already planning to travel and quit my nursing job, but then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do about like money and like income. And then I found one of your videos and I was like, oh my gosh, like, wait, UGC, like this is a thing. And like, I remembered like I had followed a couple of other UGC creators, but I don't know why, their programs didn't really call to me like yours did. And I feel like your story is like so inspiring because you're doing this at such a young age and you've created so much at such a young age that I was like, wow, like she's so badass. Like I want to learn from her. Yeah. And then, yeah, so that was really like when I started, because before that I had done a couple of like gifted collabs, but I didn't even realize they were UGC. Like I didn't know what UGC was. I was just like, oh, cool. Like there's a brand that wants to work with me and they want to give me their free product in exchange I make a video. Like that sounds cool. Like I'll do it. But I didn't know it was like UGC at the time.
Wow. So you found out about it maybe like 2 months ago, or you started taking action 2 months ago?
Yeah, I started taking action 2 months ago, but before that I had heard UGC here and there, but I never really took the time to look it up or even get into it. I was just like, oh yeah, that's cool, UGC. But really, I feel like what helped was because, you know, my mind was starting to shift around like, okay, I don't want to do my nursing job anymore. I want to travel. What can I do to create income online that's like flexible? And then I found you, and then I saw your story with UGC, and I was like, oh, wait, yes, this is a thing. Let me do that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. What about me and my brand, out of curiosity, made you go like, oh wait, this resonates with me, and UGC this time around resonates with me?
Yeah, I feel like your energy is very like piercing and direct. And for me lately, I've been surrounding myself with people and like mentors that are no bullshit. Like they're not like soft, but they're very like direct and piercing. And I know some people don't like that energy. Some people want the opposite. Like for me,
Yeah.
I now have like more of like a very like soft, nurturing energy, and people like that for me. But it's interesting because for me, I feel like what supports me and my growth personally is someone who's like the opposite of me, and someone who's more like, hey, we're going to get down to business, like direct feedback, like piercing, and not like tiptoeing and being like soft around it, you know, but just like I feel like your energy is very like direct and like no bullshit, and like this is what it is. And I really like that and appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Definitely. I think that, I mean, I'm so happy that my page like stood out to you and you found like some sort of like alignment. Like that means the world to me, because I got to help you grow your business, you know, and that's the main goal here. So you joined the academy then, right? UGC World, UGC Academy. When did you join, and why did you decide to join us on this side?
Yeah, I believe it was the end of December. Yeah, right before the new year. And I think after I saw one of your UGC videos or your UGC story on your page, there was a link in your bio that said, oh, I'm taking like a few people into the academy, something like that. Like you had mentioned like, okay, only a few more spots left. And I was like, oh, wait, let me book a call right now and and see. Like I was just like ready to take action like immediately after watching your video. And then from there, yeah, I sent in my application, and then Alexander messaged me saying like, hey, like I was really intrigued with your application, like let's hop on a call. And yeah, just went from there.
That's amazing. So you took that step, you booked a call because you're like, wait, I want help, and I think that this could give me help, it sounds like. And I want to talk about more, Cassandra, of your journey after you went all in, after you took that step with us in the UGC World, UGC Academy, to go all in. So over the past 2 months, I guess we'll start from the beginning. How did you get started when you went all in, and what system, or let me ask you this, what was your first UGC video attempt like versus the ones now? And I'd love to hear more about that transformation around just creating content and your confidence creating UGC content.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember making a video during the sprint. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And for me, I can be such a perfectionist. And so just doing a one take was a challenge for me. And I felt kind of awkward doing a talking head kind of video for UGC. But yeah, I feel like over time it started to improve that, the more repetition you put into it, of course, the more natural you'll sound on camera talking to someone, almost as if you're FaceTiming someone. I think hearing that analogy really supports. It's it's you're talking to a friend on the camera. And so that really helped a lot. And then you said what systems?
I guess, yeah. What systems did you put into place to start that momentum with your UGC journey?
Yeah, I feel honestly the 5-day sprint was so amazing, so detailed and planned out that I feel every single day of the sprint I was putting everything into play. And I really like how you had us have homework, and we did the homework, and even during the call, you're okay, whip out your phone, we're going to create our pitch. And yeah, I just love how interactive it was. It was okay, we're not waiting until this happens, we're doing it right now. So I really enjoyed that part of the sprint. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
For sure. And it seems like at the beginning you went through this paradigm shift and transformation around yourself and creating content where you're wait, I feel very weird picking up my phone and filming a selfie style video. And what was your thought process and limited beliefs around that, and how did you in the moment get over that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Let's see, I definitely felt really awkward at first. I was oh my gosh, am I doing this right? Do I sound scripted or whatever, or robotic? That was the biggest thing for me in my mind. I feel going back to that analogy, oh, it's I'm talking to my friend right now. How would I talk to my friend if we're on the phone, hey girl, there's this new product I just found out about, it has all these benefits, it'll help you with this and that. And I feel having that mentality every time I whip out my phone now has honestly helped me so much when it comes to creating UGC. It's just your energy and how you transmit that energy through the phone. So it's if I'm looking at a camera now, it's oh my God, I'm FaceTiming my best friend, hey, here's this thing, blah, blah, blah. And smiling, of course, is also creating that energy. So I feel having a smile on your face just naturally creates that peak state for you too. It's a little hack. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. What I like to do before I film is I like to tongue twisters, go through 50 of them, and then I like to just fake laugh for 30 seconds, and that fake laugh gradually turns into a real laugh, and then I'm laughing at how stupid I sound, but it works. It gets me in the right energy, and I'm flowy for the video, and it's alignment, and I feel that because I used to be super scared when I picked up my phone and filmed for the first time. I was scared of what my parents thought. I was scared of what my friends thought. I was scared of what my hometown thought. I was scared of what the brands thought and social media and the world thought. So did you ever go through that where you were kind of nervous of what your family thought or your friends thought of you picking up your phone, creating content and posting content and getting out there in that way?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. My mom, honestly, I'm very grateful. My mom is super supportive of everything that I've ever done. So she was just okay, if this makes you happy, do it. So she was on board with it. I definitely feel some other family members who have me on social media, I was a little bit ooh, this is kind of awkward. And it helps though that I make a separate account. So I made a separate account just for UGC.
Yeah.
And my mom started to tell my family about what I do, and I started to show my cousins even like the videos that I would make, and they were like so like impressed with me. They're like, whoa, like this is really cool that you just made this and you can make money from this. Like even like one of my cousins' wife, she wants to do UGC now. She's like, wait, this is so cool that you do this. So I feel like my fear turned into an inspiration, if that makes sense. Like my greatest fear of like, oh, like what are people going to think about me? It actually was like the complete opposite. Like people are like, oh my God, I'm like so inspired that you do this. Like this is so cool that you do this. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's really all just like the fears that we have in our mind. And the fear is so much greater in our mind than the reality. Like the reality is like people don't really care. Like they're just going to either, sure, they're going to judge you, but it's like they're not meant to be in your life. And then there's the people that will support you, and those are the people that you want to have in your life, you know? So it doesn't cross my mind anymore if there are people judging people from high school, old people I used to hang out with. Like it doesn't even cross my mind because like I thoroughly enjoy doing what I'm doing. And it's like when you're in that frequency of joy and love for what you do, then everything around you doesn't really matter in terms of like what other people think. Like it doesn't matter because like I honestly love what I do. And if anything, like their, I guess, dislike or hate towards me is like really them not happy with their life. That's a reflection of them not happy with their life. Like they wish they could be happy doing something that they love to do and being their own boss. Like I don't think I've ever heard of anyone who doesn't want to be their own boss and do something they love doing, honestly. So
that's a great way to put it. The people that judge you and the people that just like make fun of you, it will be a percentage of them always. So have that expectation going forward, no matter what you do, someone's going to disapprove, no matter if you're a nurse or no matter if you're a content creator, it doesn't matter. So living for yourself and having that authentic, like creative, natural energy towards what you do is so beneficial. And I love the way that you put that. And moving forward in like your UGC journey, you started and you went all in, I guess, looking at the mechanisms and more closely at the systems, what did you put into place? And I know you mentioned it earlier a little bit, but recap a little bit on the systems that we helped you put into place to actually generate collabs, and talk about how you did that and how you generated your first business as a UGC creator.
Yeah, what really helped me was time blocking. So spending like, for example, like 90 minutes, I like to do the 90-minute increment of like, okay, within these 90 minutes, like I'm going to do pitching. So I'm going to be pitching, creating my templates. That's like the biggest thing is like having multiple templates for all the different niches I want to work with and being strategic in that way. So that way I can create campaigns on Bento. Bento is honestly like the best thing ever. And like categorizing everything with the campaigns and having each template for each campaign being done like in the background so I don't have to think about it, because before I was like manually sending pitches and that took way too much time. It was like time consuming and I would get so tired from doing it. So that's like a number one system that I have in place is doing that, and it'll send like pitches for me in the background. And then for some other platforms like Backstage and Upwork, like I'll send a certain number of pitches for those each day as well. And then I'll combine that with like recording videos, because I know that's something a lot of creators struggle with, even for me too, is like that balance between pitching and like creating videos for your portfolio and like creating for brands. And so having like time blocks for everything honestly has been like super supportive. Yeah.
100%. And then how did this all kind of tumble together after you joined? How long was it until you landed that first collab, and how did it snowball into like thousands and thousands of dollars afterwards?
I feel like it was like being persistent and consistent, like everyday pitching really like adds up. So that was working. And also I mentioned earlier in the call was like altering my pitch. So it wasn't so generic, but it was more like brand centered and like catered towards like the value that I could bring to them. So I feel like that also helped a lot. And I started to see way more replies from brands with that. So just like that added effect of like, okay, we're going to make our pitches more strategic and very brand centered and value centered, as well as like numbers, because this is kind of like a numbers game. So sending more pitches and diversifying my portfolio, or diversifying my platform. So like sending on different platforms, because I got different deals closed from like different platforms. So that really was a game changer too, and not just like putting all of your eggs into one basket or one platform.
100%. So you had that strategy where you just cast that net and you're like, okay, I'm casting the net, but I'm going to stay here and I'm going to manage this and I'm going to keep going. So when did you land your first collab and how did it feel?
Yeah, I landed my first collab. I want to say it was literally like the first week that I was in Berlin and like
Wow.
another country. I was just like so stoked. And I was just like, oh my gosh, we did it. And like literally it just started to like add up from there. It was like one deal here, one deal there. Like the first week I was getting like, I think I got 3 deals that week. It was just crazy.
The first week starting UGC?
Or the first week in February. So that was like after a full month. So my second month technically. Yeah, my second month technically. It was basically like my first week as a full-time UGC creator, because like in January, the first month, I was still working my nursing job, so I was doing that UGC on the side. But then I quit my job end of January. Then I literally left a few days later to fly over to Berlin and lock in, and it literally paid off.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you landed that first collab and you're like, whoa, like this is real. And it's like me, when I landed my first collab, I was like, no way that I'm making money like this online. And then soon I was making more money than my mom. And it's like, it's crazy how this all works. So over the past like month or two since you've been a UGC creator, a full UGC creator, you mentioned for a month basically. So over the past month, how much like, or month and 6 days, it's March 6th, how much how much money have you made from all of your collabs so far?
Oh yeah, I mentioned $4,300.
$4,300. And what is that compared to your 9 to 5 like nursing job?
Honestly, I made good money as a nurse, so it's not the same. I make more money as a nurse. But 100%. The goal is to eventually, equate the two. So yeah, I think it's about maybe like I think I was making like, let's see. Oh yeah, I was making like double that amount as a nurse. Yeah.
100%. And that's it's bringing up a great lesson, because you're a nurse and you're paid pretty good, right? But also same time, we should never ever compare our 9 to 5 income job to our income from our business, because it's a completely separate ballgame.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was like such a big learning lesson for me, like within the past month or so, has been not to compare the two, because I would be like, oh my gosh, but I'm not making as much. But it's like, wait, I literally started a business from the ground up, and it's like my second or third month. Well, now it's my third month. And can we just like take a moment and celebrate ourselves? Because I forget to celebrate myself sometimes. And I was like, wow, like I'm celebrating that. I literally did this from the ground up. Like, this is amazing. Like, not everyone can do this, and not everyone gets their first paid UGC collab in that time frame. So I was like, wow, like this is amazing. So yeah, it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, and you're so right, because you mentioned like, hey, I just started a business the other month. I just started this business from the ground up. Why on earth am I comparing it to my 9 to 5 income that I spent years, in college grinding for, right? And it's like the fact that, girl, I'm just going to say this, the fact that you made half of that income within your first couple months is absolutely insane, because how many years did it take you to become a full-time nurse to make double that,
Yeah, it took me 4 years. And even then, my first nursing job, I was getting paid like not that much. So yeah, it definitely, it adds up.
And then, girl, you're learning those skills. You're learning those skills that are like not taught in school. The business ownership and entrepreneurship skills, the mindset skills, right? The skills around being able to land collabs and create quality content. Those are going to pay dividends in the future forever once you crack that. And that's so impactful. So how does it feel to like get those skills, you know, and like use them and put them to use? And how does it make you feel to know that like you're set once you learn them and master them?
Honestly, it's like so exciting. Like, I think it was Alex or someone who said this, but it's like when you learn sales and you master sales, like you'll never go hungry ever because you literally know like how to communicate effectively in a way where you're able to like convince someone of something, like of your whatever it is that you're trying to convince them of. It's like, oh, hey, like I can film this for you in exchange for free food. And it's like, oh, I have free food, and even better if I get paid for it. And so, yeah, like I really want to get into more of food UGC and even like hotel UGC as well. Like that would be super, super sick.
That's amazing. And the fact that you have those goals of like, hey, I want to go in this niche and then this niche, it shows that you're so committed and you're ready to freaking like blow this out of the water. And that's amazing. And I know that you texted me one of these like days and you're like, Laura, I just landed like correct me if I'm wrong, but $1,300 deal, like a 4-figure deal, right?
Yes, it's a retainer too. I actually negotiated with them to bring it up to 1,500, and yeah, they brought it up to 1,500, which I'm
Oh
like
my
excited.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's a huge milestone. A lot of creators within their first few months don't land $1,500 per month. That's like base monthly income, right? That's a retainer, $1,500 per month in a brand deal like that. So how did that like make you feel, and how did that shift your mindset around this business?
Honestly, like my mind was blown, and like the best part of this is like it was literally like an inbound from my personal Instagram, not even my UGC Instagram, but my personal Instagram. And it's from like a really big like medical like AI company, and like they were interested because I'm a nurse. And so it's just so cool that I had already built my personal brand before UGC, really, because I just naturally will post like different things on my personal that are health related. And so I think it just goes to show like the importance of like showcasing your personality, building your personal brand on your Instagram or your social media will go a long way, because people will literally like find you through that and offer you like retainers. You just never know. So that was honestly so amazing, and it gives me like so much like inspiration of like, wow, like what else is out there, like what else is next. But yeah, so cool.
What is next for you then? Like, where do you see this going over the next like 3 to 6 months?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, definitely like something that I'm currently experiencing too at the same time is like credit card debt and student loan debt. So I would love to have all that paid off within 6 months from UGC. Like that would be amazing.
Wow. So that's a huge accomplishment then, like
Mhm.
paying off all of your student loans and your debt as well. That would be amazing. And do you see your UGC business doing that in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Like I have a goal of hitting 10K this month, so we'll see. Like that would be
Wow.
really awesome. Yeah.
That's a great goal, like 10K per month. And I like that your confidence around that. And I love that you're like shooting for the stars and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna hit the stars. I'm not gonna just shoot for them, I'm gonna hit them. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I'd love to talk more about that in a second, but I am very, very curious on like the changes in your lifestyle. I know that you just dropped your shit and then you just flew to Germany and then you know, went all in on your UGC business. And I would like to ask you, as you've like went all in and like made it work and crushed with it in your first few months, couple months with UGC, how has it changed your like life? How has it changed your lifestyle and your mindset around the world and the way that the quality of life that you're living right now?
Mm. Yeah, I feel like it's teaching me that truly like anything is possible. And like I really love this one video that you made. It was actually the first video I saw from you on your Instagram. And that was like life is a game, and treat it as a game, because life will reward you when you take bigger risk and you're leading from a place that is authentic and from your heart. And so it's really teaching me like, wow, like I am literally like creating my reality, and like this is all a game, and like treating every obstacle like as an opportunity and seeing how I'm going to be rewarded at the end of this like challenge of this level, you know? And so now
Mm,
like realizing how my mindset and my beliefs are really creating my reality. And so always elevating my mindset at every level of like, okay, like, how can I negotiate this in a way that I can, get paid more and also work with higher quality brands with bigger budgets. And so I see that as like my next elevation when it comes to like hitting 10K is like not just working with like smaller brands, but like really like big brands and like really like elevating elevating my outreach to bigger brands as well. Hmm.
wow. You're totally right. Life is a freaking video game. And also, the UGC business is a video game as well. Level one is landing your first deal or starting. Level two is getting a few, right? And level three is just leveling. Every time you level up, you see a new version of the game and you see a new higher level. And now you're at that level where you're like, I see 10K per month right there. And I also want to dig in more to specific brands and niches and companies I want to work for in or work with. And then also leveling up my content and what little things can I fix, So you have a very different mindset than you had when you first started with UGC. And that's the point of the freaking game right there. And I love that you have that abundance mindset. That's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you mentioned like the different brands and niches that I would want to work with.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so I definitely want to work with more like women's health related companies. So I actually I got a response from like this pretty big like women's wellness company. Like they make like non-toxic organic like women feminine products like period pads and stuff like that. And so I would definitely like want to work with more companies like that, like more like eco-friendly, conscious brands.
Mm,
Let's yeah, yeah, because I'm definitely like all about that. Like anything that's related to like women's empowerment, anything that's like super conscious. Hmm.
yeah, 100%. I love that. And you have the God-given right to work with which brands that you truly align with. And if it's the organic style or the natural ones or the ones that are for our health instead of for us buying them, right?
Hmm.
That's so empowering and that's so beautiful that you found that mission. And then for you, Cassandra, going back, what was if you can say out loud, what was your favorite, couple brands that you've worked with or biggest brands that you've worked with that you're like, wow, I can't believe I got to work with this brand in my first couple months with UGC.
Yeah, so there is a like fintech company, and it's kind of surprising because I would never really consider myself to be like super excited about fintech, but it actually was like so crazy how like I manifested this like brand deal because it was like my first one, and like literally it's like a budgeting tool, and it's like, oh wait, this is like so relatable because I'm literally like learning how to budget right now as I'm like paying off this debt. And even the scripts that I got, because like this was like a scripted one where like I read the script for them. Even the scripts were like pertinent to my life. So it's just kind of like interesting how like you manifest brands at a certain time in your life and how they're like the perfect brand for you in that moment, if that makes sense. It was
Mm,
just really interesting because like I was reading the script and I was like, wait, this sounds so me. Like this is something I would say. This is like something that I've experienced and struggled with. Like it was just crazy how like the script just perfectly matched my life in a way.
wow, that's wonderful. And it's the best feeling when you're, you have that opportunity sent your way and you're like, wow, I totally feel completely aligned with this. And it's so possible to be completely aligned with companies like that. Definitely. And you're manifesting it, which is wonderful with your perception and your frequency and the way that you're going about this business with so much abundance and clarity in the mind. And that's very, very inspiring. So for you, Cassandra, we obviously talked about you taking that step with the UGC World, UGC Academy. My question to you is, honestly, super, super honest, how important was having mentorship in this overall transformation that you went through?
Oh my gosh. Like literally, like it's number one. Like, it's honestly like so necessary if you want to see results like super quick. Because I have been getting like DMs from people about how do I start UGC, like coach me and stuff. And I'm like, guys, like check out UGC Academy, like go get mentorship, because you can watch like all these free videos to get started. Of course, they're out there, you know, like on social media, like people teach you how to pitch and stuff. But I feel like nothing beats getting like direct mentorship from people who have the results that you want, and you get that like more intimate container and like one-on-one guidance, and like the community is like so awesome too, because you can like, you know, ask people for support, like, hey, like what's your experience, how is everything going for you? And being in community is also just like so impactful, because you also are like inspiring one another and showing each other like what's possible. And yeah, it's like if you don't know something, someone else does, and so you don't feel like you're doing it completely by yourself. So I feel like mentorship with anything you want to do is like number one, especially like if you want to be really, really good at something, like you have to have mentorship. Yeah.
That's powerful. And overall, in your education, how do you feel about the investment that you made in your overall education?
With the academy?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, like so freaking worth it. Like all of the modules, the daily coaching, the community, like it's so worth it. Like it honestly, you guys could probably charge more, but yes, so worth it.
Wow, I appreciate that honest feedback and the support, the kind words. That means the world to me, and it tells me, hey, I'm doing something right. So that's amazing, and that's why we do it, because I look at your smile, I look at how much this has helped you, and I'm like, this is exactly why I do this, you know, because I felt that same way like 2-3 years ago. So Cassandra, it's been a freaking blessing to have you on the podcast today. I would like to ask you, what are your socials for people to connect with you on?
Yes. So my UGC Instagram is cass.creates.ugc, and then my personal Instagram is Clarity with Cassandra.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Cassandra. And before we hop off, I want to ask one more question. If you could leave a viewer, maybe a past version of yourself or someone going through that same thing you're going through months ago, what's that one banger piece of advice that you would give them that would completely shift their mind?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say, even if it doesn't feel like you're creating results, everything compounds eventually. It's only a matter of time until you see the results. Because I literally felt that within like my very first month in January, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not really seeing results. I'm doing all this work for nothing. And then February hit, and it was really like an explosion. Like the floodgates had opened. And it was just like, oh my God, like it's raining with brand calls and all these deals. And yeah, so I feel like when you're first starting, like to not be so focused on seeing the results, but to be more focused on building the right systems.
Powerful. Brand deals don't just fall from the freaking sky, right? You got to compound. Input equals output, right? So you got to meet us 50%, and you've done an amazing job. You met us 70%. You've met us the whole way, you know, and that's why it compounded. Yes, your first month was probably a little bit difficult and a little bit, you know, dry. You were working that job, and then also you spent less time and energy on it. So of course you're going to get less of a result, but it compounded into February. All of that compounded into February, and boom, you met the popcorn effect or compound effect. And that's so beautiful. So thank you so much, Cassandra. It's been again a blessing to have you on this podcast. And until next time.
Thank you so much, Gloria. I appreciate you and your time.
100%. Thank you.